Good afternoon. YIZKOR is a very powerful time in our tradition, as you know, and the YIZKOR on Yom Kippur is perhaps one of the most personal and powerful moments that we experience throughout the entire liturgical year. In our new prayer book, I'd ask you to please turn to page 549. Page 549. This memorial service is organized around light, candles. It is customary, as you know, that on yahrzeit anniversaries following the interment, a candle is lit, a Shiva candle or a yahrzeit candle. Light is a traditional symbol of the sacred. Light is a symbol of God in many ways. Light is a symbol of hope, of creativity, of also remembrance. One of the names of these 10 days is Yom HaZikaron, Rosh Hashanah, if you remember that, because we remember throughout these 10 days in ways perhaps only maybe in Passover that we feel certain losses. This moment in our liturgical year focuses in on that. There will be 7 candles that will be lit. The prayer book service has 7 separate candle readings that begin on 549. After this reading, Cantor Barry will offer a selection, some music that speaks to that candle and the day. We'll light candles here, 7 candles, following the prayer book. There are a series of readings after each one that I will read, just one, that follow, that take us through a couple of pages after the first reading. They're for you to look at while Cantor Barry is singing. They're for you to look at in the privacy of your home, in your own heart. And each one of these candle sections ends with a word of healing. This will all lead into the memorial prayers itself when we conclude the candles. So this is what we're doing, and we're following this. They're following this program here in the new prayer book. And if you happen to have at home with you on your little Mikdash Ma'at that we ask you to create a memorial candle, now's the time to light that candle up as we turn to page 549 in the prayer book and speak of the first candle, the theme of which, as you'll see, in each one of these candles has a theme on the loss of loved ones. And this reading: the death of a loved one is the most profound of all sorrows. The grief that comes with such a loss is intense and is multifaceted, affecting our emotions, our bodies, and our lives. Grief is preoccupying and depleting. Emotionally, grief is a mixture of raw feelings such as sorrow, anger, anguish, regret, longing, fear, and deprivation. Grief may be experienced physically as exhaustion, emptiness, tension, sleeplessness, or loss of appetite. Grief invades our daily lives in many sudden gaps and changes, like that empty space at the dinner table or the sudden loss of affection and companionship, as well as in many new apprehensions, adjustments, and uncertainties. The loss of a loved one throws every aspect of our lives out of balance. The closer we were to the person who died, the more havoc the loss creates. Love does not die quickly. Hence, to grieve is also to celebrate the depth of the union. Tears are then the jewels of remembrance. sad but glistening with the beauty of the past. So grief in its bitterness marks the end, but it is also a praise to the one who is gone. I'd ask you to turn to page 555. As we dwell on the second candle on inner strength and survival. Adonai ma'adam v'teda'ehu, ben enosh v'tchashvehu. Adam v'hevel dama, yamav kitzel over. Adonai, how hard to fathom that we are worthy of your care, how astonishing your awareness of us. For we are like the morning mist, our days like a passing shadow. At dawn we flourish anew, by dusk we wither and fade, sending us back to earth's dust. You tell us, return you who belong to humanity, if only we were wise and understood what lies ahead. For when we die, we carry nothing away. We leave our possessions behind. So mark the wholehearted, take note of the upright, for there is purpose in a life of integrity. Adonai, you replenish the lives of all who revere you, and those who trust in you will never despair.
As I know Shine.
The third candle on the holiness of memory, I'd invite you to please turn to page 561. 561. When I cry, my voice trembles with fear. When I call out, it cracks in anger. How can I greet the dawn with song when darkness eclipses the rising sun? To whom shall I turn when the clouds of the present eclipse the rays of tomorrow? Turn me around to yesterday, that I may be consoled by its memories. Where not the seas split asunder, did we not once walk together through the waters at the dry side? Did we not bless the bread that came forth from the heavens? Did your voice not reach my ears and direct my wanderings? The waters, the lightning, the thunder, remind me of yesterday's triumphs. Let the past offer proof of tomorrow. Let it be my comforter and guarantor. I have been here before, known the fright, and found your companionship. I enter the sanctuary again to await the echo of your promise. The fourth candle, which you'll find on page 567, the theme of which is our most precious relationships. The reading is from Hannah Senish, and I think Cantor Barry is going to do YIZKOR. This is an absolutely beautiful piece of, it's a beautiful piece of everything. It always reminds me of looking up at the stars and at night and being reminded of the smallness of us, and wondering that if the souls that we think of, especially now, are those lights. And there's literature, and you've probably read stuff about this, but in a way, when you listen to these words and you hear the melody, just hold this, and the next time you have an opportunity to be in a place with not too much light, and you look up at the stars and just Who knows? Who knows? On page 567. There are stars up above, so far away we can only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. יש כוכבים שהרם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכנו. אורות אלה המבהיקים בחשכת הליל, הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך.
Thank you. That was cool. It was really cool. You should do that a lot. The fifth candle is entitled, the theme of which is on acceptance. I'm going to ask you to turn to page 581. Page 581. We just, and I hope Rabbi Raskin is tuned in, because he just taught as part of the shiurim that we did this afternoon, a section on afterlife, and lo and behold, here's one of the themes, one of the candles. And you'll notice as we read through this meditation by one of our cantorial colleagues, that it does talk about something that I'm going to bet that many of us do, because they're little voices. And maybe that's part of the afterlife. I don't know. And as Rabbi Goodman was talking to, we just don't know. They're the voices that we hear sometimes when we least expect it. It's my mom's voice, which is somewhere here, and my dad's voice somewhere over here. And so I got to not do this because I'll lose it. And my buddy Jakey's voice, who talks to me all the time, and a couple of other people friends of mine who passed away this past year that I had the honor, sadly, of doing their funerals. And their voices are here. I mean, we hear these voices, and sometimes the most unexpected times. So this is a meditation a little bit on that, and just let it flow over you. I do have an ongoing relationship with the dead, and I do think about the afterlife, my afterlife, that is. After someone I know dies, what happens to me afterwards in my life? Some deaths come too soon. Some deaths are unexpected. Some deaths we think we're prepared for, but really we are rarely ready. We don't usually know when a conversation is the last conversation, with so much that may be left unsaid or unresolved. So in this afterlife of mine, I'm still in relationship with people who have died. I miss them. I talk with them in my mind. I ask them questions about our relationship that I wasn't ready to ask them when they were still alive. I show off my accomplishments and wish that they could witness them. And yes, I still have some of the same old arguments, still trying to prove my point of view. What helps me go forward? How do I resolve these lingering feelings? Here is what makes the Yom Kippur YIZKOR so special. This forgiveness prayer, devoted exclusively to those no longer with us, it comes late in the afternoon when we are tired and hungry, vulnerable and open. During this YIZKOR, I'm given the opportunity to forgive myself for cutting off that last phone conversation with my father. I was always in such a hurry. He always wanted to chat longer, and then he died. It's during this YIZKOR that I have the opportunity to forgive my mother for her harsh ways, to let go of her being angry for my sake in this world, if not for her sake in the world to come. For this YIZKOR, to be honest and meaningful, I don't want to sentimentalize those relationships. I don't just want to remember the ideals and gifts that they may or may not have passed down. I want to remember those relationships exactly as they were, and then be able to forgive myself and them for our failings, for what we never got a chance to repair or finish.
You can follow along with me at the bottom of 583.
The sixth candle, the theme of which on gratitude, page 585. There's this meditation on the bottom of the page that I think I mentioned it is to you on Rosh Hashanah. Drives me, I don't know, this, I don't know what the right word is, especially on live stream. But the first time I read this paragraph when I was a young rabbinic student, actually, now that I think about it, and have read it every year since, there's still something about it that gets me, and because it raises the existential question of, we mentioned this on Rosh, of our own, accepting our own death, and, you know, and if we were given that chance not to die, would we take it knowing that everything else would stop? And it's an amazing, ask yourself that question. Really ask yourself that question. When you're alone, when all the deflector shields are down, what would you do? If some messenger were to come to us with the offer that death should be overthrown, but with the one inseparable condition that birth should also cease, if the existing generation were given the chance to live forever, but on the clear understanding that never again would there be a child or a youth or first love, never again new persons with new hopes, new ideas, new achievements, ourselves for always and never any others, could the answer be in doubt? When we fear death's decree, let these bring us solace, the memory of loved ones who have gone before us, a vision of generations to come, through whom we reach far into the future, beyond our own lives.
At the top of that page.
Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Hazorim b'dimna, v'rima yiktoru. Hazorim b'dimna, v'rima yiktoru. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy.
And our final candle, you'll find this on page 592, the theme of which is on finding peace. And we read this very interesting meditation. One morning, shortly after my mother died, a hesitant tap on the shoulder stopped me as I left the synagogue where I had just finished saying the mourner's Kaddish. I turned to face a fellow morning service regular, a tall, gray-haired gentleman with a football player's thick build. I don't mean to be presumptuous, he said in a soft voice. I know you're very sad right now, but I wanted to tell you that when I went through that too, when my father died several years ago, and here's the thing, believe it or not, I'm as close to my father now as when he was alive. Maybe even closer, because I have come to understand him better. He's inside me. I hear his voice. We are still that close. Then he smiled and waved goodbye, leaving me to ponder words that I began to understand only years later. What he meant, I think, was that our dead inhabit us like ghosts. The trick, as he knew then and that I have learned since, is to befriend them rather than have them haunt us. They will greet us on sad anniversaries as well as in joy. We will imagine a deceased parent's response to her grandchild's arrival, or we will call back from memory the words or actions of one person to whom we would have turned were he or she still there. And eventually, when we hear that voice again, it will bring not just pain, but comfort and resolution.
I shall not want. Gan gelach begeits am avet, lo yirara, ki atai madi, shivtecha mishantecha, heima, heima yenachamuni. Taroch lefanai shulchan, neged zorai, di shanta vashem en roshi, kosi, kosir Vishavti
We're going to take a few moments now in silence. These 7 candles and the themes that we we read about and hopefully you've read. They're an introduction. And although we cannot be in this sanctuary, what I'm going to ask you to do is really just put everything else away, everything out of your mind. Because I'm going to open the ark, very symbolic, as you know. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, right now, all those people that you are thinking of, all those spirits, all those souls, they're here. They're surrounding you right now, where you are. You may not see them, but you've invited them to be with you. You've called them. You've invited them into your soul right now. This is the power of this moment. This is the power of memory. So this is what we're going to do. And just I pray that you just let yourself be. There's no other thing to do. For right now, Hayom, this moment, welcome them. There may be some things that you want to tell them. And if you listen very carefully, there's probably some things that they want to tell you. How much they miss you, how much you miss them. And that unbroken power of love that still exists, those voices, that touch, that moment, you've invited them in. They're with you now. They're with you. So I invite you to just be. If we were here in front of the ark, I'd invite you to come forward, to stand before the ark, and have a conversation with them. But you do not need the building. Right now, just give yourself some time. Allow these souls that you've invited to be with you. Take a few moments in silence. If you can see the ark, open your soul. Because, my friends, they're with you now. They're with you. They're just around. They're waiting for you as you're waiting for them. This is the moment in our year. We embrace them, we hold them, they hold you. In love, in peace, in memory. On page 598, I'd ask you to please rise in body or spirit. The memorial prayer of the Jewish people, the El Mole Rachamim.
כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים לנשמות יקירינו שהלכו לעולמם. בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויתעורר מצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר אמן.
On page 602. We miss them at celebrations when there's an empty seat at the table. We miss them when the community gathers and there's an empty place besides us. We miss them today and every day with every year that passes as our life goes on without them. Their faces, their voices, the feel of our arms around them, these are with us forever. For so it is written, love is strong as death. The love that we gave, the love that we received, these endure among the pain of loss. We remember those taken during this past year from this congregation. With love, we remember Dr. Paul Oberdorfer, Gail Flatto-Thompson, Stanley Greenfield, Mitchell Ullisker, Jack Sussman, Peter Andrew Winterfield, Dr. Earl Boots Horowitz, Phyllis Sohn, Richard B. Miller, Michael Harris Levinson, Dr. Michael Howard Berkey, Dr. Alvin Green, Natalie Bloom, Barbara Palave, Judy Greenhut, Jeanette Tabak, Stephen Cantor, Shirley Cohen, Ralph Hockman, Sonia Hecht. Those we have named in public, those we now remember in the privacy of our own hearts and souls, the people that we have lost this past year, and all of our loved ones for so many years. On page 606, as we continue to remember them. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabo, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeda kol beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei rabo mivarach le'olam u'lemei alamaya, Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalo shemeda kudusha brichu. Ve'ela ol ela v'kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen oseh shalom b'mramav. Huya aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace continue to send peace to all who mourn. Give comfort to all who may be bereaved. And we say together, Amen. You may be seated. We move now, ladies and gentlemen, into the concluding service for this day of Yom Kippur, the Nila service. You'll find it on page 612, and as you know, as we talked about it in the Shiurim earlier, the day ends with the Tekiah Gedolah. So if perhaps if you have a shofar lying around the house, why don't you take it out, bring it out, and as we go through the service and towards the end, as the cantor calls out that great Tekiah Gedolah to end the day, just go ahead, join us. It would be fun, and who knows, we may wake up Jacksonville. I don't know. But before we Cantor Barry, that was, and that video is cool. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Well done. And I hope it reached all of you in a variety of special ways. Page 612. Page 612. The long day is over and the gates are closing. Slowly day fades into dusk. Soon the earth will darken, our bodies weak and weary, our inner strength undiminished. This day has been given a gift, uncluttered time, free from hurry and routine, appointments or assignments, a time to face our sins and imperfections, our dreams and yearnings for the life that we want to live, a time to leave the clamor of the world and attend to the voice within. Long ago, the temple gates were locked at dusk. So too, at this hour, the gates of Yom Kippur begin to close. Have we done all that needed to be done, said everything that needed to be said? The gates of God's compassion never close, but soon enough our lives close in on us. Now in the silence of the soul, now before the holy day comes to an end, release the unshed tears, the deepest prayers locked into our hearts. Page 614. continue on page 620. Page 620.
יתקדש שם בי רבו
And we ask you now to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 622 for the Tefillah V'Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu v'yadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרינו, זוכרינו, זוכרינו לחיים. וחותמנו בספר החיים. Hoshea Magen, Baruch Adonai, Magen Avraham Ezrat Sarah, Atagibor, Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Ata, Rav LeHoshea Modrid Ata, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'rofei Cholim, U'matir Hasurim, U'mekayem Emunato Lishnei Afar. Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Michamocha, Heil Rachamim, Zocheil Yitzurav, L'chaim Berachamim. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אלוהי מחיי הכל.
On page 628, Shema na, hear us this day, forgive us, we pray, for the day begins to fade. Your holiness awakens deepest awe. Your praise shall be our song, O sovereign God of pardon and forgiveness. Let these words of sanctity ascend to you. Petach lanu sharei tzedek. Open the gates of righteousness for us. Open the gates that we may enter and praise the eternal. Open the gates for us, for all Israel, and for people everywhere. The gates of acceptance and atonement, beauty and creativity. The gates of dignity, empathy, and faith. The gates of generosity and hope, insight and joy. The gates of knowledge and love, meaning and nobility. The gates of openness, patience, and the quest for peace. The gates of renewal, song and tranquility, the gates of understanding and virtue, the gates of wisdom and wonder, exaltation, youth and old age, the gates of Zion, reborn and rebuilt in our time. Open the gates, open them wide, show us the way to enter. V'chatbeinu b'sefer chayim livracha likdusha. Seal us for holiness and blessing in the book of life. For you are holy, and your name is holy, and we yearn to enter your gates in holiness. For you hold out your hand to those who do wrong. Your right hand opens wide to receive those who return. Your name is holy. You are holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day. Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh. If you choose to be seated, please do so now. We continue with our service, page 640. Page 640, Petach Lanu. in the middle of the page. Open a gate for us when the gates are being closed, for the day is about to fade. The day shall end, the sun shall set. Let us enter your gates. Holy One, we pray, please be patient. Please pardon and forgive. Please show compassion. Please lead us to atonement and help us. Please help us to conquer injustice and triumph over sin. A couple of minutes ago in the last part of the teaching, we talked a little bit about Leviticus 19, and one of the passages that talked about the respect for elders. So this is a very short little meditation, the next to the last one. It's called, you may have heard this, it's a little story, just about 4 paragraphs, short paragraphs, called The Wooden Bowl. But it really does speak to that passage in Leviticus, and it really does speak to, in many ways, this rather interesting and frightening rise in ageism that's beginning to creep into the American culture. It goes like this, of course, once upon a time. A frail old man went to live with his son, daughter-in-law, and 4-year-old grandson. The old man's hands trembled, his eyesight was blurred, and his step faltered. The family ate together at the table, but the elderly grandfather's shaky hands and failing sight made eating difficult. Peas rolled off of his spoon onto the floor. When he grasped the glass, milk spilled on the tablecloth. The son and daughter-in-law became irritated with the mess. "We must do something about grandfather," said the son. "I've had enough of his spilt milk, noisy eating food on the floor." So the husband and wife set a small table in the corner. There, grandfather ate alone while the rest of the family enjoyed dinner. And since grandfather had broken a dish or two, the food was served in a wooden bowl. When the family glanced at grandfather's direction, sometime he had a tear in his eye as he sat alone. Still, the only words the couple had for him were sharp admonitions when he dropped a fork or spilled some food. And the 4-year-old watched it all in silence. One evening before supper, the father noticed his son playing with the wood scraps on the floor. He asked the child sweetly, "What are you making?" Just as sweetly, the boy responded, "Oh, I'm making a little bowl for you and Mama to eat your food in when I grow up." The 4-year-old smiled and went back to work. The word struck at the parents so that they were speechless. Then tears started to stream down their cheeks. Though no words were spoken, both knew what must be done. That evening, the husband took grandfather's hand and gently led him back into the family table. And for the remainder of his days, he ate every meal with his family. And for some reason, neither husband nor wife seemed to care any longer when a fork was dropped, or milk was spilled, or the tablecloth was spoiled. It's a great little story, and sadly, it's not fiction. Something like that going on right now. On page 646, page 646, Adonai Adonai.
Say
So one last little story. I saved this for the Neela service because it goes to the theme of, again, what question do you ask and how you ask it. It's just really a wonderful little story to end the day with. It's about two brothers. It goes like this, of course, once upon a time. Once upon a time, there were two brothers, 8 and 10 years old, who were exceedingly mischievous. Whatever went wrong in the neighborhood, it turned out that they had a hand in it. Their parents were at their wits' end trying to control them. Hearing about a rabbi nearby who worked with delinquent boys, the mother suggested to her husband that she would ask the rabbi to talk with the boys, and he agreed. The mother went to the rabbi and made her request, and he agreed, but said he wanted to see the younger boy first and alone. So the mother sent the younger boy over to see the rabbi. The rabbi sat the boy down across his very huge and impressive desk. For about 5 minutes, they just sat there and stared at each other. Finally, the rabbi pointed his forefinger at the boy and asked, "Young man, where is God?" The boy looked under the desk, in the corners of the room, all around, and said nothing. Again, louder, the rabbi pointed at the boy and asked, "Where is God?" Again, the boy looked all around the room and didn't find anything. A third time, and louder, a firmer voice, the rabbi leaned far across the desk, put his forefinger almost to the boy's nose, and asked, "Young man, I ask you, where is God?" The boy panicked and ran home. Finding his older brother, he dragged him upstairs to the room and into the closet where they usually plotted their mischief. He finally said, "We're in big trouble." The older boy asked, "What do you mean, big trouble?" His brother replied, "I'm telling you, we're in big, big trouble. God is missing, and they think we did it." I hope you're chuckling, because it's a great story. It's just a great story. And leads right into, to tell you the truth, the last time we'll visit the Vidui for this Yom Kippur. So we can ask you, by the way, where is your God? Where is your God? A good question that these kids were asked. Where is your God? Page 652. We are insolent, but you are compassionate and gracious. We are stubborn and stiff-necked, but you are slow to anger. We persist in doing wrong, but you are the essence of mercy. Our days are a shadow passing by, but you are existence itself. Your years never ending. And for those during our study sessions who asked about some explanations, we're about to do the Ashamnu for the last time, but no Achet. And there's a lovely explanation paragraph on the bottom of 653, walking you through some of the traditional understanding of this. For those of you who are not standing, for those of you who can or would like to, in either body or spirit, on the top of 653, the Ashamnu. Of these wrongs we were guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely. We are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander, we devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey. We abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes. We are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral. We kill, we spoil, we go astray. We lead others astray. What can we say to you whose existence is beyond time and space? What words of ours can reach your realm? Beyond the clouds, beyond heaven itself. Every hidden mystery, every revelation, surely you know them well. On page 662. Page 662. Avinu Malkeinu, kabel barachamim, v'ratzon et tefilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, welcome our prayer with love. Accept and embrace it.
Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lema'an rachamecha harabim.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for the sake of your boundless compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu lema'an shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, hetchmaynu v'sefer parnasa v'chalkala.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of sustenance and livelihood.
Avinu Malkeinu, chatmenu v'sefer zichiyot.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of worthiness and merit.
Avinu Malkeinu, chatmenu v'sefer slicha u'mechila.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of forgiveness and pardon.
Avinu Malkeinu, chatmenu v'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, chatmenu v'sefer geula v'shua.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of redemption and renewal.
Avinu Malkeinu, v'le'yadenu v'be'arkotecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings.
Avinu Malkeinu, petach sha'arei shamayim litfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, ein lanu melech ela ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have no sovereign but you.
Avinu Malkeinu, chanenu ve'anenu, ki ein banu b'ma'asim aseh imanu tzedakah ve'chesed v'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace when our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu, Chaneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim, aseh imanu, tzedakah Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu, Chaneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim.
On 665, As the book of life is closed and sealed, open now our hearts, open our hands. Let those who ask forgiveness and those who gave forgiveness depart this place in peace. Let all God seekers and soul searchers of this day depart this place inspired and renewed. Together let us build the community of commitment. Let us all be sealed this day. Gemar Chatima Tova, sealed for goodness and sealed for life. B'Sefer Chaim Tovim, sealed in the book of life and good, eager to taste life's sweetness, to enjoy the fruit of our labors, to bring light to the darkness and joy where sorrow dwells. Be sealed for your year of Torah and soulful searching. Be sealed for your year of kindness, good deeds, and love. As the book of life is closed and sealed, open our hands and open our hearts. Usharim. Page 666.
She'arim rashechem v'hinasu pitchei olam v'yavod melech hakavod. Mihu ze melech hakavod? Adonai Tzvaot hu melech hakavod.
To live life in all its fullness is to stand in awe before an open gate, to gaze into a doorway of hope, a wondrous portal of possibilities. Many are the gates of our lives, many the treasures toward which they lead. And how many close behind us, lost, forgotten, and sealed forever? How many gates? How many years? Standing in awe before the gates of a new year, we see its most precious gift, the minutes and the hours, the days and the weeks, the treasure house of time. Every moment is a vessel of infinite holiness. Every morning, noon, and night is a gateway to life's immensity. How will all of us choose to use this precious gift? 668. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon u'v'yomechon v'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarak le'olam olamei olmaya. Yit barak v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit raman v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit haleh v'yit halal shemei dekudashah b'richu le'ela u'la'ela milchol birachata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiram bi'ama v'imru. Amen. Titkabel tzolotchon uv'otchon Dechol Yisrael kedem avuchon di b'shamaya v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshivei tevel v'imru. Amen. We stand as one now before the gates of a new year, renewed by this day of atonement, made stronger by all who are with us and by those whose presence we feel within. As the long day fades into dark, we join our voices in words of hope and dedication. Pitchu lanu, sha'arei tzedek, navo vam nodeya, Open for us the gates of righteousness, that we may enter and praise the eternal source of life. Open for us the gates of a sacred community, that we may enter and feel its healing power. Open for us the gates of truth and integrity, that we may enter and grow in faithfulness. Open for us the gates of devotion and principle, that we may enter and find enduring values and meaning. And open for us the gates of repentance and return, that we may enter and offer our best. Open for us the gates of forgiveness, that we may enter and offer our humanity. Open for us the gates of kindness and compassion, that we may enter and offer our love. On 671. As the Sabbath of Sabbath ends, we say from the heart, Living Source, you are ours, we are yours. From beyond time and space, you hold out your hand to receive us. Living Source, you are ours, we are yours. You are the sovereign of remembrance, the voice of holiness, your presence lights the way. Living Source, you are ours, we are yours. Shema Yisrael, hear the shofar. Witness to history, thunder to our souls. Living Source, you are ours, we are yours. Happy are those who love the sound of the shofar, its mystic chords of memory. Living Source, you are ours, we are yours. Hear the sound of the shofar, hear its cry of freedom, its call of courage, cherish its promise of hope.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. Adonai hu Elohim, Adonai hu ha'Elohim, Adonai hu ha'Elohim, Adonai hu ha'Elohim, Adonai hu ha'Elohim, Adonai hu Elohim, Adonai hu ha'Elohim. Tekiah. Shvarim. Teruah. Tekiah Gedolah.
Shana Tova, everyone. But before you kiss and hug and hit that bagel and cup of coffee, we have one more little thing to do. Page 674. It's traditional, we're going to transition from these 10 days back into the regular year. So we do a Havdalah. On page 674, I've asked my charming assistant to help us out. Again, thank you to everyone who, whoops, I don't want to go away from the microphone. The Sight and Sound people will throw things at me or put something else up. But thank you very much, Sight and Sound, and Mary Ellen in the back, and Jean, but most of all, seriously, to the tech people, and most of all to my colleague, Cantor Barry. You may not know, well, you probably do know this, because I was at home because of the pandemic and everything. We really put this together a couple days a week for the last month or so, working through this stuff and her ideas and the chorale and the videos that you saw this afternoon. I hope you really appreciated that, because it was a labor of love, and it was for you, and with our best wishes for a sweet, and most of all, especially now, healthy and happy new year. Havdalah, as you know, makes a distinction. The wine, the light, the spice box, the light of this brand new year, intertwined, as I hope all communities will be in this, as the President was mentioning in his remarks, in a society that still has problems with just being civil with each other. I think one of the most important prayers of us right now as we do this is really that we can find a way to have peace and allow individuals to be who they are without hostility and blaming. The spice box, the sweetness, have a sweet year. That's the easiest thing. And the wine for life, and we'll mix them all together in this hopes that this brand new year brings you everything you want, everything you pray for, your wishes and dreams fulfilled, and stay healthy. Cantor Barry, let's have a few Havdalah blessings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei haish borei meorei haish la 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 la
Sing. Oh, okay. Go ahead. In the wine, in the wine, in the bowl, in the bowl, in the bowl.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו הוא ימחול. זרענו ושלומנו ירבה כחול, והכוכבים בלילה. שנה טובה, 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 שנה טובה. A good year, a year of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. A good year, a year of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhera v'yameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Im Mashiach ben David, Im Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Shana Tova, everyone. Michael, thank you very much. Michael Dow, thank you. Everybody, sight and sound. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Shana Tova.
That's all, folks.